A recent report from the Bureau of Immigration notes a significant increase in the number of natural-born Filipinos who became naturalized citizens of other countries who are reacquiring their Philippine citizenship. And joining us in our studio this morning is Ellene Sana, Executive Director of the Center for Migrant Advocacy. Her group advocates for the promotion of the rights of overseas Filipinos. Ellene, good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you
How
for the
does your
invitation.
group look at this recent development?
Oh, yeah. Some reporters also asked us about that, and quite interestingly, we are in touch with some of those who have acquired their citizenship.
Why are they reacquiring their citizenship?
Well, the one, for example, that we are in touch with, he's 75 years old. He says he's not coming back to the Philippines, but he wanted to contribute just the same to the development of the country. And just before Congress ended earlier this month, his preoccupation was to campaign, to help in the campaign for the passage of the FOI, the Freedom of Information online. So he's doing this together with a lot of the other Filipinos in the U.S. And for those who have, maybe for the others, it's actually the prospects of coming home for good is still there. They might have been away for the longest time, particularly those in Canada and the UK and the US, where you have the significant increase in the reacquisition of Filipino citizenship. But nevertheless, at the end of the day, as we say, they wanted to come back home, yeah, for good. And I must say that for those, like in the US, they are entitled to Social Security benefits, so they can afford to come back home and enjoy their dollars, which is times 40. Of course, it's going down, the exchange rate, but at least it's still cheaper, I suppose, to stay here. And then while they get the money from the US.
From the U.S.
I suppose, yeah.
So bottom line is they think it's getting better and it's nicer to live here.
Yes, yeah. It's really more fun, and it's more
warm.
Fun
with the Philippines.
And it's more warm in many ways, to be
yeah,
here in the Philippines.
Warms your heart and warms your body.
Exactly, yeah.
What are the privileges of Republic Act 9225? The Citizenship Retention and Reacquisition Act of 2003.
Basically, you become just like anybody, any other Filipino citizen. You enjoy all the entitlements that we do enjoy here as citizens. But of course, it has also its obligations. So, like,
what are the obligations?
For example, if you are overseas, in terms of taxation, you are exempted from paying your income tax if your earning is derived from overseas. So, like OFWs and also those who are. And so once you have reacquired, then definitely you are, but then still their earnings will be coming from overseas, so they still do not pay.
So they still don't pay taxes?
They don't pay, but then when they have investments here, then they have to pay.
Then you do pay taxes now. But if your sole source of income is abroad, coming from abroad, even if you reacquire your citizenship, you don't pay taxes there.
Yeah, because that's also applicable to OFWs, for example, those who are categorized as temporary workers.
So that is attractive.
That is attractive.
What if you acquire property?
That is attractive, and that part of where you can now acquire property here in the Philippines without restrictions, because of course the Constitution prohibits foreigners wholly owning properties here in the Philippines. Yeah.
You've been a leading figure in the campaign for the enactment of the Overseas Absentee Voters Act. Where are we there right now, and what are your main thoughts on this?
There is good news. The good news is we have the highest turnout of registered overseas voting for this election, 2013.
Okay.
We're gearing for voter education.
How many have registered?
For this period, 2012, because there was almost 1 year of registration, more than 400, which is like the highest. And
400,000.
400,000. So if you total that with the previous registration, you would have like 900,000 plus.
Okay.
But of course, just last month, COMELEC also cleansed the voters list, and they activated some 200,000. So that left like 700,000 as the registered voter for 2013.
That's still a lot.
That's still a lot, and hopefully with the developments happening in the country, where, as you said, one proof of their showing interest also to what's happening in the country is the reacquisition, the increase in the reacquisition of citizenship. then yeah, there would hopefully be a higher turnout of votes for 2013, because the last time it was only like 26%, and it wasn't very encouraging, especially for the lawmakers, I think.
Okay,
Yeah.
final question, brief answer. What are the top 3 concerns of the Center for Migrant Advocacy?
Top 3 would still be on good and effective policies that protect or guarantee protection for overseas Filipino workers. We should have probably, well, we should work harder to make sure that we have economic development that translates to decent jobs here,
All
so
right.
that people
Okay.
will not really be forced
they don't
to
have
go
to go.
abroad.
Yeah.
They don't have to go. And yeah, maybe more concern. You put your mouth where your money. You put
More action.
More action. That you spend, you invest on our OFWs. Not only like you lure them to invest, but like for one for example is you allocate money for overseas voting so that it will be effectively implemented.
All right. Ellen, thanks for your time. Thanks for coming over to the studio this morning.
Thank you.